2 years ago, I had this weird, super rare form of vasculitis. So like knocked out my vision, knocked out my hearing.
Hello my friends and welcome back to Where Are They Now? In today's video, I'll be giving you the rundown on former That 70s Show star Ashton Kutcher. Let's dive in. Ashton Kutcher is an American actor, entrepreneur, producer, and former model. He's received various accolades like a People's Choice Awards and 3 nominations for a Young Artist Award, a Critics' Choice Movie Award, and a Screen Actor Guild Award. But with all of these achievements, Ashton was also suffering from a rare autoimmune disease over the course of the last few years. This destructive diagnosis almost left the actor unable to walk or see. But before we get into all of that, let's rewind a bit. The Killers star was born Christopher Ashton Kutcher on February 7, 1978. He was raised in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and was born minutes ahead of his fraternal twin brother Michael. His parents are 2 factory workers by the names of Larry and Diane Kutcher. When Ashton was 13, he experienced 2 separate painful life changes. One was his parents' divorce, and the other was his twin brother's emergency heart transplant surgery because Michael's heart was badly damaged due to a virus. Ashton and Michael's older sister Tasha remained under her mother's care with her younger siblings following their family's breakup. Once Diane had remarried, the bunch relocated to a small farm community named Homestead. Ashton continued to work on his interest in acting in his then new hometown. He appeared in many school productions in his days. Unfortunately for a young Ashton though, his life would see a downward spiral after the chapter of his high school experience was nearing its end. His wild child rebellion began to take the forefront, and in his senior year, Ashton was arrested for his school's break-in. Additionally, he was spending the majority of his time partying. And I mean, I guess that's one way to ring in your impending graduation, Ash. Once the actor graduated in 1996, Ashton took to enrolling himself at the University of Iowa to study biochemical engineering. His partying ways prolonged for the first few months of schooling as he joined a campus fraternity, but eventually Ashton hit the books and did a lot better to attain to his goals in life. Ashton was maintaining a heap of odd jobs to pay for school at the time as well, one of which included a General Mills factory position sweeping up cereal dust. To say Ashton knew nothing about male modeling prior to a talent scout approaching him would be an understatement. Yet he quickly found his place in their world in 1997 when he was admitted into and took home the win for Iowa's Fresh Faces modeling contest. This opportunity granted him a stay in New York City, where he signed onto a modeling agency team. Alongside his standard gigs were his most famous Abercrombie & Finch catalog shoot and his Calvin Klein designer appearances. For his A&F job, Ashton met his then soon-to-be future girlfriend, model and actress January Jones. Ashton made his return to modeling once more in 2008 through an advertising campaign for Pepe Jeans London. He graced the runway again to model for Brazilian fashion label Colucci in 2011 as well. Ashton's early modeling career launched him into fame, but he rose even higher in Hollywood through his leading role on That 70s Show. Ashton followed this up with the creation of MTV's Punk'd, and then proceeded to headline films such as Dudes, Where's My Car?, The Butterfly Effect, and No Strings Attached, to name a few. His return to sitcoms was through his replacement character for Charlie Sheen in 2.5 Men in 2011, and then again in 2016 for the TV series The Ranch. To further break down Ashton's smaller screen appearances, we'll start with the spring of '98 when the actor landed his breakout role as the adorably dense but good-looking humorous Michael Kelso for the popular sitcom That 70s Show mentioned prior. In this, he was joined by Topher Grace's main character Eric Foreman to showcase Eric's life and adventures with his friends. The show instantly won over fans due to its exploration of the ups and downs of teen friendships growing up in a small town. This supporting cast consisted of actors Mila Kunis, who played Ashton's on-again off-again girlfriend Jackie, and other friends Steven, played by Danny Masterson, Donna, played by Lori Prepon, and Wilmer Valderrama's Fez, respectfully. Some of his other roles on the small screen include his 2003 co-creator and executive production titles for Punk'd, his 2011 2.5 Men co-starring role, and his 2006 Netflix sitcom Work on the Ranch. His works for the big screen, however, hold quite the legendary list of feats. We have his role in the 2000s film Down to You and his crime drama feat in Reindeer Games during the same year. His character heavily resembles that of his 70s show one in the 2000s movies Dude, Where's My Car?, another film in the comedic genre that held its own at box office despite critics' initial reviews. Naturally, Ashton developed quite a large fan base through his appearances, and in the same year he was named one of People magazine's 50 Most Beautiful People. In 2001, Ashton followed up with Texas Rangers, a movie that didn't land as well as his others from audiences or critics, but he bounced back immediately with his 2 rom-coms, My Boss's Daughter and Just Married. He emerged into the drama film world in 2004 for The Butterfly Effect, where Ashton also served as an executive producer for the sci-fi movie, which brought in a startling $60 million at its respective box offices. The following year, Ashton re-dipped his toes back into the romantic comedy pool with Guess Who and A Lot Like Love. He also took on an action film in 2006 alongside actor Kevin Costner for The Guardian. Ashton soon lent his voice to the family-friendly voice animated movie Open Season. In 2008, Ashton starred in What Happens in Vegas opposite Cameron Diaz and landed a role in the drama Personal Effects with Michelle Pfeiffer. As for his productions, Ashton worked alongside ABC Network to bring the 2008 sitcom Misguided to life, but the show was cancelled after a mere season. Despite this, Ashton made another cameo on the big screens afterwards for his part in rom-coms Killers in 2010 and No Strings Attached in 2011. His 2013 role as legendary Apple co-founder Steve Jobs was his most anticipated to date, and the biopic titled Jobs featured a rounded-out cast of all-stars and depicted a dramatized version of the real Steve Jobs' life. Reeling more into Ashton's personal life now, he and his then-wife Demi Moore got married in a small-town ceremony at their Beverly Hills home. There, Demi's three daughters from her previous marriage to Bruce Willis served as their mom's bridesmaids and assisted her down the aisle at the time. Ashton naturally grew close with Demi's daughters over the course of their marriage and developed a friendship with Bruce, who was quote on hands for the nuptials. Unfortunately for the larger-than-life couple though, they ended up separating in the fall of 2011, but hadn't officially parted ways until almost 2 years later. Their divorce settlement was reached in 2013 while Ashton was at his peak success. In 2011, while Ashton and Demi were unofficially separated, he and his longtime T7S co-star Mila Kunis began dating, and in February 2014 the couple announced their engagement. Things very quickly picked up speed for them at that point, as by March there were reports of Mila and Ashton expecting a baby. Mila gave birth to their daughter Wyatt on September 30th of that year, and the following 365 days Mila and Ashton married over the 4th of July weekend. Their wedding took place in Oak Glen, California at Parish Ranch's Secret Garden. The spouse's first son but second child, Dimitri, was born in 2016 on November 30th. The two are still currently married to this day. Apart from his acting and producing works, Ashton also reportedly obtains a lot of business interests. Ashton has invested in numerous LA restaurants over time and holds the position of creative director of a telephone device company called Uma. Back in 2009, Ashton and Demi founded Thorn, which started as DNA Foundation and is a human rights organization aimed at ending human smuggling and transportation, as well as misconduct and exploitation of children worldwide. Ashton also made history on Twitter that same year for having the first account to accumulate 1 million followers at the time. In 2017, Ashton spoke to the US Senate Foreign Relations Committee as the chairman of Thorn to speak out for the organization's missions and outlook. Now remember when I told you about Ashton's rare disease at the start? Here's how it pertains to what we've learned so far. Ashton had taken to Twitter earlier this month to issue a statement to assure his fans with confirmation of his fully recovered health following his vasculitis that rendered him unable to see, hear, or walk on his own 2 feet. The health scare was recently revealed by Ashton on TV that he was lucky to be alive after having suffered from the effects of the disorder. The actor has since reassured us that he is all good, but there was one point nearly 4 years ago when Ashton was dealing with his autoimmune flare-up that managed to leave him with some hearing impairment, vision, and balance issues in the midst of it all. In a statement, he clarified on Twitter that he was going to let it be known before there was a quote bunch of whatever out there about his present condition. Ashton's diagnosis was discussed in a sneak peek of the upcoming Running Wild with Bear Grylls episode, where Ashton detailed the quote horrific symptoms he faced as a result of his flare. According to Mayo Clinic, vasculitis involves blood vessel inflammation, which causes the victim's walls to thicken and reduces the quote width of passageway through the vessel. With blood flow restriction comes potential organ and tissue damage, and even though there are many types of vasculitis, most are rare. In some cases, vasculitis even has the ability to resolve itself. In accordance with Ashton, his harrowing experiences with the disease gave him a newly discovered appreciation for his health and senses despite the scare. He concluded with an explanation that he never understood how truly essential those things were to him until he lost them. Ashton also revealed that it took him about a year to regain his strength, which surely prompted Bear to praise Ashton's attitude towards his adversity, since Ashton has detailed how his past has challenged him with an opportunity to grow. You can check out the Monday Night National Geographic episode for more insight if this suits your interests. Despite Ashton not diving into the nitty-gritty details of his vasculitis treatment process on air, the Mayo Clinic once again states that the process for the condition usually quote focuses on controlling the inflammation and managing any underlying conditions that may be triggering the vasculitis. Now that is it for today's WATN. If there are any other Hollywood hotties you'd like to see in our next rundown, please feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and don't forget to let us know what your thoughts are on today's Where Are They Now video. This was your host Michaela, who had the pleasure of delivering today's update on your favorite celebrity, and I'll see y'all in the next one.
Bye.